What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. So for this trailer review reaction, we are taking a look at a new film coming up starring Steve Buscemi as a retired serial killer in new psychotherapy trailer. Now this is an exclusive trailer that just came out yesterday, so we're going to take a look at some of the article details, then we're going to jump right over to the trailer to see what this one's about. I've been a longtime fan of Steve Buscemi's work. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I don't think he necessarily gets enough praise and attention as he should. He has a wide range of work from doing things. I mean, one of his most recent works, which many people don't know, he voiced Starscream in Transformers 1, which was the animated Transformers movie that came out last year. And imagine, thinking of him playing that role, doing the voice for that role, but then also thinking of him in roles like when he was in The Sopranos as Tony. He was Anthony Soprano's cousin, and again, he just has a wide range. He's done a lot of work as far as voiceover work, TV, film, and now he's got a new project that's going to be adding to his catalog. And I believe he's got 2 or 3 projects currently in flight. 2 are supposed to release this year, and 1 that's in pre-production called Wild Horse 9. Now I know he's in the other one he's in called Clara and the Sun. It's in post-production. We did briefly mention that project in our previous horror news update that we posted earlier today, that's also starring Jenna Ortega. But let's jump into the article details for this, and then we're going to go take a look at the trailer. So it's published and perished for a writer who runs afoul of retired serial killer Steve Buscemi in Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer. You can get a first look at the new black comedy in a new Collider exclusive trailer. The film will be released in New York theaters on April 4th, 2025. It will hit theaters in more markets and become available on video on demand services on April 11th. Now, you all know my feelings about that. I've never really understood that business model of releasing in theaters and VOD and digital on the same day, but apparently that's what's happening on April 11th, at least for the US. I say the US, it says here in more markets, but when I was looking into this film, I only could confirm it was releasing on April 11th in both, again, theaters and VOD/digital on April 11th. Now, it very well could be releasing in other markets as well, but US was the only one I could confirm that was actually happening for. So in the trailer, John Magaro plays Keen, a writer on the verge of a divorce from Susie. It doesn't help that he's been struggling to write a book about serial killers for the past 4 years. One day, however, his muse finds him in a diner in the form of Colmick, an allegedly retired serial killer who wants to counsel Keen in the ways of murder. A misunderstanding leads Susie to believe that Colmick is their marriage counselor, and he does his best to fulfill that role. However, it soon becomes clear that Colmick is not as retired from the serial killing business as he may have claimed. As he says in a counseling session, quote, "Marriage is a living organism." And he happens to specialize in killing living organisms. So the film also stars Ward Horton from the Gilded Age, and we go on some other casting. So let's move on down. So we have here the trailer, which we're going to check out here in a moment. Yeah, right here it mentions last year that he did the voice for Starscream in Transformers 1. He's also been in Curb Your Enthusiasm and in Monsters, Inc. Again, some projects you wouldn't necessarily think that he was in. And it also goes on to mention Wild Horse 9, which was one of the projects I had just mentioned that's in pre-production with no date attached. And as you can see here, it does mention Clara and the Sun, along with Jenna Ortega and Amy Adams. Psychotherapy is the debut English language work of Turkish director Tolga. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. It is produced by stars Buscemi, Magaro, and Loro. Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer, will be released. We already talked about this, the release dates. And then we have the poster here, which I think this is a pretty cool looking poster. It has that old school vibe and look to it, especially with the font all over here to one side. Just the style and look of the font just how the poster, the colors, and how the pictures are framed and shown, again, just has that very old school look to me. I really like this poster. And and I've mentioned this before, I'm not really big on movie posters that have a lot of text on them. But this one, because it, again, gives that old school vibe and feel, I very much can appreciate the amount of text that's here. I could probably do without, these bottom two pieces here, these quotes from, other, critics or other publications, giving a quote as to what they think about the film or think about his performance. So I could do without those and maybe keep the rest, but definitely like the poster. All right, so let's get back to the top of this article, and then we're going to pull up the trailer and see what this one is about.
I want a divorce.
What?
He's been working on a new book. How long's it been?
4 years. It's been 4 years.
Gene O'Hara, your new book. It's about a serial killer. I'm the person for the job. I'm a retired serial killer. What the How's this gonna work? I'm going to teach you what killers do. So you'll be like a counselor.
Who are you?
Well, I'm a counselor.
I'm sorry, I was not expecting my husband to bring a marriage counselor to our home.
A marriage counselor? Okay, then. You are in a safe zone. Shall we begin?
It actually makes sense. They say that most killings of women were done by someone that they know.
How was your day?
Maybe he thinks I'm trying to kill him.
What do you mean by that?
Tick. Tock. Tick. Am I gonna die? Tock. Tick. Will I survive? Tock. Tick. You, Tock, are going, tick, to die. Tock. Okay, I think we can wrap up today's session.
Wait, what just happened?
They would kill each other for the film rights for this.
Film rights.
I didn't know what to say. Up comes potatoes.
What are you talking about?
Marriage is a living organism. It can grow or die.
This will be the best thing I have ever written. I even thought of a title.
What is it? Nice.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah.
So what I think is interesting about this one is it from the trailer. I mean, it takes quite a few different turns. It almost, you don't know really who's the killer. We're meant to believe we're meant to believe Buscemi is going to be the killer. I mean, he's meant to be the serial killer or retired serial killer, what have you. Buscemi, I'm sorry. I think I said Buscemi. But as the trailer went on and we see the disconnect, I guess, so to speak, in the marriage, and when she's talking to her friend and she makes that statement, when it's talking about, they always tend to look at, the spouse or the wife as far as who killed the husband. And her friend looks at her, and if you notice briefly, she has a very quick and small smirk before the scene changes. And then we have that small scene where she's cutting up the onions. And if you look at the countertop, it's just filled with onions, almost as if she's cutting them with no purpose. To what end? She's just cutting up onions. And we see that it's obviously making her cry because we see her mascara running. And he's standing there not really knowing what to make of it, what to do. We have the scene when they're in the car, kind of both looking at each other when it's raining, very oddly. And we see him he's at some point tied up, not sure who tied him up. Could have been Steve's character, could have been his wife. But then we also then see a shadow of what appears to be the husband with a knife. So it makes you wonder, is Steve's character in a way teaching them, or is he talking to him on the side? This is how you go about killing your wife, and then she's on the same end trying to figure out how to kill him and not have it pinned on her. So they're both trying to kill each other, yet we have a serial killer involved somehow trying to counsel them. So I think again, the trailer doesn't give you much as to which direction this could go. I think that's what made this trailer pretty good towards the end, because it's keeping you guessing as to, well, who's the killer going to turn out to be, and then who's going to turn out to be killed. Is it going to just be, one of the other, the wife or the husband? Or is Steve's character going to kill both the wife and the husband? Could he end up being killed with one of them? Again, it takes a number of turns. The trailer starts off as appearing to be a very comedic, and he's just portraying, yeah, I'm a serial killer, just, trying to portray himself as one. He's really not. But as the trailer then takes that dark turn, you can see where, as the article mentioned, he's not so retired serial killer, he truly is one, and somehow has found his way into this couple's relationship, pretending to be their counselor. So I'm interested to see this one. Again, comes out on April 11th for VOD and digital widely, and then April 4th just in theaters in New York. So we'll be coming back to this one, doing a spoiler review on the film once it's released. But this one does look pretty interesting. I do feel serial killer content, or the subject matter, does fall within horror. I do feel it is a subgenre of horror in some aspects. Yes, it is part of true crime, but I do think aspects of that do fall within the horror space. So that's why I'm covering this, and that's why we will be covering more on the serial killer, again, subgenre, in my opinion, moving forward as far as additional content. So drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer, coming out on April 11th. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.